Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's a coin that most people pass by without a second thought, just a simple, common 1-cent piece. But what if I told you that a single 1976 US penny could be worth a small fortune? In fact, one of these coins has been linked to a potential value of over $886 million. Let's dive into the history, the mystery, and the massive value of the 1976 1-cent coin. Stick around to find out if you have a hidden treasure in your pocket. First, let's start with the basics. The 1976 1-cent coin is not all that different from any other penny in terms of design. It features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, of the coin, with the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" etched around his bust. On the reverse side, you'll find the familiar Lincoln Memorial, surrounded by the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, with 1 cent beneath the memorial. Nothing too spectacular on the surface, right? But here's the twist: 1976 was a monumental year in U.S. history. It marked the bicentennial anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, which is where things get really interesting. To celebrate America's 200th birthday, the U.S. Mint introduced a series of special coins. These coins included redesigned quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins. But what most people didn't realize at the time was that the penny, too, had a subtle change. While the 1-cent coin in 1976 didn't feature an obvious change like the other denominations, it did come with a twist. In fact, it wasn't even supposed to be part of the bicentennial coin set, but the way these pennies were minted and distributed played a huge role in their value today. And here's where the mystery begins. Over the years, there have been reports of rare error pennies from the 1976 series that were produced with special characteristics that make them far more valuable than a regular penny. Some 1976 pennies were accidentally struck with an error that led to unusual characteristics, misprints, off-center strikes, and other minting errors. One of the most famous error coins is known as the 1976 D penny, which was struck with a D mint mark but has the unusual feature of having a high level of wear or even being struck on the wrong planchet, meaning it could have been made on the wrong type of metal. Because of the unique nature of these error coins, some collectors were willing to pay top dollar for them, driving up the demand and the value. But what about that staggering $886 million figure? Well, in the world of rare coins, it's not about the face value of the penny but rather its rarity, historical significance, and condition. In fact, a coin that could reach that kind of price is not just any penny, it's an incredibly rare error coin that has become the stuff of legend in the numismatic world. To understand this, let's look at some context. There have been numerous reports of penny error coins being sold for tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. In extreme cases, coins with significant historical importance, unique error traits, or unaccounted for minting processes have fetched astronomical prices. And if one of these 1976 pennies were to hit the market under the right conditions, let's say a unique misstrike or a coin with historical backing tied to the bicentennial, its value could climb into the hundreds of millions of dollars. So, why is the 1976 1-cent coin potentially worth up to $886 million? Well, coins with similar error traits and historical significance have sold for extreme prices in the past, like the famous 1933 gold double eagle, which sold for over $18 million, or even rare Lincoln pennies from the early 1900s that have commanded huge sums at auction. The key here is rarity. If you happen to stumble across a 1976 penny with an incredible misprint or one that was made under highly unusual circumstances, its value could skyrocket. But there's a catch. These error coins are incredibly rare. Most 1976 pennies are still worth their face value, just 1 cent. So, what should you look for in your own collection? Well, start by carefully inspecting your 1976 pennies for any abnormalities. Look for signs of off-center strikes, doubling, or unusual wear patterns that could indicate a minting error. Pay close attention to the mint mark on the reverse side. If it's struck in the wrong place or looks out of place, you might just have a valuable coin in your hands. And if you think you found something special, the next step is to get your coin professionally graded by a trusted numismatic organization. This will help determine its authenticity and condition, which are crucial factors in determining its value. At the end of the day, the 1976 penny is an iconic part of U.S. history. While most of these coins are worth just 1 cent, there's always the possibility that you could discover an incredibly rare, error version worth a small fortune. Could your penny be worth $886 million? While that's a long shot, it's a fun reminder to always keep an eye out for the unexpected treasures hiding in your pocket change. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more awesome content about rare coins, hidden treasures, and numismatic finds. Who knows, your next penny could be worth far more than you think. Next, 2016 1 cent USA coin, it's easy to overlook. A small, humble coin that most people toss into their change jar without a second thought. But did you know that the 2016 1 cent coin could be hiding a massive potential value? We're talking about a coin worth a staggering $847 million. Yes, you heard that right, $847 million. But how is that even possible for a coin that's worth just 1 cent by face value? Stick around as we explore the intriguing history, the rare features, and the fascinating story behind the 2016 penny that could be worth millions. Let's begin by discussing the basics. The 2016 1 cent coin is just like any other penny you'd find in your pocket. It features Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, with the familiar words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" around his image. On the reverse side, there's the shield design, introduced in 2010, with "United States of America" inscribed around it and "E Pluribus Unum" above the shield. And of course, 1 cent is clearly marked beneath. Nothing too extraordinary about it at first glance, right? But before you dismiss this penny as just another piece of loose change, let's take a deeper dive into the history of this particular coin and its surprising potential value. The 2016 penny was minted by the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark. The year 2016 itself was an interesting one for the U.S. Mint, as it was marked by the continued use of the shield reverse design for the penny. But what makes this year particularly significant is not just the design, it's the timing. The penny has been a staple of U.S. currency for over a century, and during the 2010s, debates about its future heated up. Would the U.S. continue to mint pennies, or would they be phased out due to production costs and decreasing relevance in the digital age? Interestingly, it costs more to produce a penny than the coin is worth. In 2016, it cost about 1.5 cents to produce 1 penny, which means the U.S. government loses money every time a penny is minted. Despite the rising costs and conversations around discontinuing the coin, the 2016 penny was still produced in large numbers, and most were circulated without much fanfare. Now, here's where things take a fascinating turn. While most 2016 pennies are worth just their face value of 1 cent, a small number of them could be worth a small fortune, thanks to a mysterious series of errors and rare traits. Over the years, coin collectors and numismatists have discovered certain 2016 pennies with unusual characteristics, errors that could make them incredibly valuable. One of the most exciting possibilities for these coins is related to double die bearers. A double die occurs when a coin is struck multiple times, resulting in a slight misalignment of the design. This error can make the coin appear to have extra details or a doubled image, particularly on the lettering or the date. Some 2016 pennies were struck with an error that caused part of the design to appear blurry or doubled. These double die coins can fetch huge amounts of money at auctions due to their rarity and distinctiveness. But this is just one possible type of error. There are also other coins that may have been struck off-center or with minor flaws that set them apart from the rest. But how could a coin like this possibly be worth $847 million? Let's break it down. The reality is that most 2016 D pennies are worth their face value or just slightly more. However, in rare instances, a coin with a unique error, extreme rarity, or historical significance could potentially be sold for astronomical sums of money. For example, rare error coins from the US Mint have been sold for millions in the past. Consider the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1933 Double Eagle, which sold for over $18 million. These coins were extraordinary not just because of their minting errors, but because they were one of a kind in their condition and origin. If a 2016 D penny were to be discovered with an extremely rare error, perhaps one that no one has seen before, it could generate a bidding war, pushing its value to incredible heights. So, what makes a coin like the 2016 D penny potentially worth millions? It's all about rarity, demand, and condition. The more unique a coin is, the more valuable it can become. Error coins, such as those with double dies or misalignments, are highly sought after by collectors who specialize in these rare items. Additionally, the condition of the coin, whether it has been well preserved or is in pristine, uncirculated condition, also significantly affects its value. Coins that are graded mint state 70, meaning they have no visible wear and are in perfect condition, often fetch the highest prices. So if a 2016 D penny were to surface in perfect condition with a rare error, the price could soar into the millions. And in some extreme cases, if a coin were found to have an unprecedented error, something never seen before, it could potentially reach prices no one could have predicted. So, how can you identify if your 2016 D penny is worth more than just 1 cent? Well, you'll need to look carefully for any unusual characteristics. Start by examining the details of the coin under magnification. Look for signs of double die errors, where the lettering or the date appears doubled. Also, check for off-center strikes or any other unusual design flaws that might make your coin stand out from the rest. If you find a coin with these features, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a trusted numismatic service. They'll determine the authenticity of the error and the coin's overall condition, which will give you an accurate idea of its potential value. While it's unlikely that any 2016 D penny is going to be worth a staggering $847 million, it's not completely out of the question. Error coins are a unique part of numismatic history, and the right combination of rarity, condition, and demand could push a coin's value into the stratosphere. Most 2016 D pennies will remain worth just 1 cent, but if you're lucky enough to find one with an extraordinary error, you could have a small fortune in your hands. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the 2016 D penny and the potential for finding a rare coin worth millions, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more videos on rare coins, hidden treasures, and numismatic stories. You never know, your next penny might just be worth far more than you think. Last 1986 D 1 cent USA coin. A penny might seem like the last coin anyone would pay attention to. After all, it's just worth 1 cent. But what if I told you that the 1986 D 1 cent coin might be hiding a secret worth hundreds of millions of dollars? That's right, a single 1986 D penny could potentially be worth up to $810 million. In today's video, we're going to explore the fascinating story behind this penny, why it could be worth so much more than you think, and how to spot a rare, valuable coin in your pocket change. Stay tuned. Let's start with the basics. The 1986 D 1 cent coin is minted with the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. The inscription, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" circle around his bust. The reverse side shows the iconic Lincoln Memorial with "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" written around it. The words 1 cent are clearly marked beneath the memorial. At first glance, this looks like any other penny you'd find in your spare change jar. The 1986 D penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark. It's part of the ongoing series of Lincoln cents, which were first introduced back in 1909. But the real story behind this coin has to do with rare minting errors, rare finds, and the possibility that some of these pennies could be worth far more than their face value. 1986 was an important year for U.S. coinage. It was a year when the U.S. Mint was still mass-producing pennies to meet the needs of an expanding economy. The penny, although under increasing scrutiny due to its rising production costs, continued to circulate heavily. In fact, the cost to produce a penny had been steadily increasing, but its face value remained stuck at 1 cent, which is a key reason why debates about its future became a focal point in the years to come. In 1986, it cost more than 1.5 cents to produce a single penny, which meant that each penny minted resulted in a loss for the U.S. government. Despite this, the mint continued to produce billions of pennies every year, and many of those 1986 D coins made their way into the hands of everyday Americans without much thought. So, why could a 1986 D penny be worth up to $810 million? Well, like many other coins, the value of a 1986 D penny isn't always tied to its face value. Some pennies from this year have been discovered to have significant minting errors, flaws that make them rare and highly desirable to collectors. There are several types of errors that can increase the value of a coin. For example, some 1986 D pennies were struck with misalignments, resulting in coins with off-center designs. Others may have been struck multiple times, leading to what's called a double die error, where the design appears doubled in certain areas. Double die coins are particularly sought after. They happen when a coin is struck twice by the die, creating a double image of the design. In the case of the 1986 D penny, this could mean a doubled Liberty or In God We Trust, which would make the coin much more valuable than a regular penny. Now, let's talk about the $810 million. That figure may sound insane, but in the world of rare coins, it's not completely out of the question. There have been coins sold for jaw-dropping amounts before. For example, the famous 1933 Double Eagle sold for over $18 million at an auction, making it one of the most expensive coins ever sold. So, how does a coin like the 1986 D penny potentially reach such an astronomical value? Well, consider this: a unique error coin, perhaps with an unprecedented flaw, could change the market entirely. A single penny, if it's the only one of its kind in existence or if it has an unmatched combination of characteristics, like a perfect double die, an off-center strike, or even a rare historical connection, could become the next big sensation in numismatics. And if such a penny were ever to be discovered, you could see a bidding frenzy that drives its value into the millions. While $810 million might sound like an exaggeration, such records aren't beyond the realm of possibility. But what exactly makes a coin like the 1986 D penny valuable in the first place? First and foremost, it's about rarity. The rarer the coin, the more valuable it becomes. If a particular error coin is unique, or if only a few examples exist, collectors will fight for the chance to own it. The condition of the coin also plays a massive role. Coins that are graded higher, especially those that are in mint state condition with no visible wear, will command much higher prices. Grading is done by professionals who examine coins based on factors like wear, scratches, and the clarity of the design. A 1986 D penny in perfect, uncirculated condition could be worth far more than one that has been worn down by time and use. And in the case of error coins, the more pronounced and unique the flaw, the higher the value. So, how can you tell if your 1986 D penny is worth more than its face value? Start by looking for any irregularities in the design. If the text appears doubled or misaligned, or if the design looks off-center, you could be in luck. You should also check the condition of the coin. Is it shiny and new, or is it worn down with time? Keep in mind that error coins can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, but only if they're in good condition. If you think you found something special, consider getting your coin graded by a professional. There are companies that specialize in coin grading, and they can help you determine if your penny is truly rare and valuable. Could your 1986 D penny be worth $810 million? While it's incredibly unlikely, it's not entirely impossible. The world of rare coins is full of surprises, and the right combination of error, rarity, and condition could make any coin worth a small fortune. If you've got a 1986 D penny lying around, it might just be worth taking a closer look. You never know what hidden treasure might be sitting in your pocket change. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1986 D penny and the fascinating world of rare coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more videos about hidden treasures and numismatic wonders. Who knows? Your next penny could be worth more than you ever imagined.